Sims, how fired up were you just to have football on your television? I know you. Just I don't care if it's preseason week number one. I don't care if it's bad football. How fired up were you just to have football on your television screen last night, huh?
What like Stugotz? First off, yeah, these are like monumental moments. Especially, I mean, last week the Hall of Fame game, so that's nice. There's nothing to watch on TV right now. There's nothing. I mean, since the World Cup ended, I've been tortured. I don't really trust my Yankees and the way they're playing. So again, you know my stories with them. But last night it was my son's 16th birthday yesterday,
Nice.
and he had some friends over and the family was over. But when it hit 6:45 Eastern time, I mean, I was on the couch. I had the computer in front of me because, I'm trying to watch multiple games to keep my eyes on certain guys and all that. I loved it, man. I sat there all night and a little drinky, smoky, and watched all the preseason action.
You and I were laughing because this is how I do the preseason. I put it on one of the TVs. I'm not really paying attention. I just need football on one of my television screens. And then I look over at Drew Aller and I'm like, oh, wow. Forgot about him. That guy looks like he belongs. He's got a chance. How about that?
Well, I think that's what you do.
Yes.
That's the point of preseason. I mean, you can't over-evaluate it. You just want to see, does the guy belong? Does he look physically correct? Is he as big as I thought he would look on the field? Is the arm as powerful as I thought? Is the guy as fast as I thought with NFL players? All of those things. That's all you can do. The game is very simple schematically, so it's got to be more about just evaluating the players. And no doubt that Drew Aller was one of the stars of last night's preseason football because there was, of course, a polarizing subject coming out in the draft. Yeah, I didn't love him. I know he's big and he had one of the strongest arms in the draft. So I get that. But I mean, missed throws, bad decisions, mechanics all over the place. The offense in Penn State stunk and
Yeah.
they did no help or gave him no help. So those are the things you just went, well, I don't know. He's a tough evaluation. He is. He's extremely raw. We heard that. Pittsburgh, when he first got there, they were like, we basically got to start at, back to ground zero with the Drew Aller. But the one thing you saw last night is they cleaned up his mechanics, and he had his body in the right position more times than not. You see that the ball pops out of his hands. Like
Yes.
Will Howard looked good last night, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't catch your eye like Drew Aller, where you go, ooh, that looks like a starting NFL quarterback. So let's see where it goes. But I was impressed, and even his motion was more efficient, a little quicker, like he's been watching Aaron Rodgers in practice every day. I was very impressed, and a good start for Drew Aller.
Sims, did you ever get nervous before preseason games?
Yeah, definitely, especially like those first. I always got nervous before preseason games. Yeah,
Right.
I got always. That's just how I was.
Right.
I,
Makes you
I
feel
was.
alive. Right. Yes.
Yeah, well, you feel exactly right. You feel alive. You sit there and you're going, hey, I'm playing for John Gruden. He's a psycho. He doesn't care it's a preseason. If I don't get everything right and make every right decision and check, he's going to yell at me like it's Super Bowl, 52. So it
Right.
doesn't matter. The one thing I loved about preseason that I learned early on in my career, and I think I've told you this before, but Gruden, I had such a great experience there, and in practice, he was all over me. Right?
Right.
He'd give me the play, and as he was giving me the play, I mean, as soon as I got in the huddle, he'd be like, hurry up, hurry, 10, 9, 8. He would do that to me at every play. So when I
Right.
got out of the preseason those first 2 years, I was like, man, thank God this little freaking Napoleon's not back here 5 feet from me yelling in my ear. And it
Right.
actually made the games easier. It made it
Really?
easier. But, yeah, I still was nervous. That didn't change.
Why? He was coaching you too hard? There was too much urgency, too much stress? I
Well,
mean,
yeah, exactly.
because
He
because
just
everyone
was on
reacts
you.
differently to that stuff, Sims. You know that.
Well, exactly, and again, I came from that school of
Right.
Bill Parcells coaching my dad. I had an old school Italian coach in North Jersey who played under Vince Lombardi, so he believed in mother effing you and putting you in your place all the time. I love that, and yeah, I loved that I got coached like that by Gruden on an everyday basis, and there was some genius behind it to where then when I got on the game field, I was like, oh, this actually kind of feels easier than it did in practice, and I don't have this psycho yelling at me all the time. So that's where I found the preseason to be a lot of fun, and I was a guy that needed to play in the preseason. I needed to be hit a few times and feel the game a little bit. I didn't want to just not play and then go into the regular season just cold and go, oh, hey, it's the first game of the year. Here we go.
You did an outstanding job. You're a great teammate. You saw me fumbling around with the audio settings because I couldn't hear you for a second, and you spoke long enough until I got back. The ability to hear you, I got it back. That was a great job by you. You noticed all that, and we're in different places. I've never been more impressed with you than I am right now, Chris Sims.
All quarterbacks have pocket presence, man. I mean, come on. I can look at the camera and see you through my peripheral vision going, what the hell is he doing? Plus, I know you. I mean, your name is Stugotz for a reason.
Yes.
And you and I have a long history of when they leave you to the technical stuff,
right,
something's going to be a freaking disaster. It's going to be
That's right.
fucked up because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're an old man, all right?
Yeah. Well, yes, I'm an old man who's on vacation, and I'm so bored on vacation, I wanted to talk football with you. How about Mikey A and Taylor both saying, we're good? I asked them if they wanted to join today. They're like, good.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. They're not all in. You know, they're not gym rats like you and me. I mean, we're a little different level. They're not that way. You know, they're dip their toe in the water kind of guys. Or they worry about fantasy football, not reality football. I already got them down. We know them.
PFT with Mike Florio every day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast as well. Our buddy Chris Sims is with us. I'm just going to say some quarterbacks' names here, and you tell me what comes to mind. Just guys who have played already. You've seen them, and what comes to mind. Carson Beck.
Smooth.
Yes.
Smooth, I think, is the first thing. And NFL ready. That's the thing with Carson Beck. He's NFL ready. He's played such big game football between Georgia and Miami. They play a pretty pro style of quarterback offensive play there. So that's where he's good. Now, I'll say, to me, I don't see starting quarterback for Carson Beck, just so you know. I think he is a high-end backup. Maybe one day he can be a bridge quarterback and prove me wrong and say, shut up, Sims. But I kind of look at him more like he's a Davis Mills, right? That's how I kind of look at it.
Fair.
But still, going to have a long career, and if he does, have to come in for a starter or whatever else, he'll be able to hold down the fort and run the offense. That's for sure.
All right, we went over Drew Aller. Let's go to Haynes King. Haynes King.
Well, a little bit of a
pretty impressive, Chris.
Impressive. A little bit of a raw project. He's really, to me, a lot like Riley Leonard, who came out of Notre Dame 2 years ago, where you go, man, he's big, and you can see that he's an extremely good athlete. And he has refined his throwing a little bit. That's his big thing. Is you just got to become more of a natural thrower. He's one of those guys that you always hear me say where I go, there's quarterbacks who are athletes, and then there's athletes who they go, hey, he's such a good athlete, let's put him at quarterback. And he's learning the quarterback stuff still. I believe he went to Texas A&M as a wide receiver, if I remember correctly, before he transferred to Georgia Tech. So, yes, you saw some good moments in that Hall of Fame game. There was also some throws where I'd go, hey, look, that didn't look very natural. He didn't need to throw that appropriately. He's going to learn that stuff. But there's some potential there with Haynes King.
I like him a lot, and he can run, too. Anthony Richardson.
Well, I'll say this. I thought that was a big step in the right direction last night for Anthony Richardson.
No doubt.
He got a little unlucky with the interception. I didn't see the fumble. I've still got to see that. I saw every throw of the game. I was really impressed with Anthony Richardson.
Same.
And here's the big thing. One, I've been saying all week, like, don't get traded Anthony Richardson. Don't. You're in the perfect spot. You're with an offensive coach. You know the system. You got talent around you. And you're backing up Daniel Jones, where if you made me bet money, he's going to get hurt during the season at some point, and you're going to get a chance to play. And I don't know if it'll be 3 games, 1 game, 8 games. We don't know. But we know Daniel Jones has a history. So don't get traded. And to me last night, he showed that he's surely a more gifted player and thrower than Riley Leonard. And the big thing to me, Stugotz, is I'm a nerd, is he changed his throwing motion. He had this real long, floppy motion, right, where the arm was. And then if you watch last night and go back and watch it back, it was very tight and efficient. And I thought he threw the ball with great accuracy. He got the ball out of his hand quickly. Stay the course. Stay there, Anthony Richardson. But I thought last night was a good step for him.
Mendoza, I agree with you and everything you said with Richardson. Mendoza here. This is going to be interesting what the Raiders are going to do at starting quarterback. Mendoza, for me, looked pretty good.
I know. Right, exactly. Well, we hear the same bull crap every year. We're going to sit him the whole year. He's never going to play. And then they get to the 7th day of training camp, and they're like, he's really fucking good. I think we need to play him maybe before next year. I think we got to do that. Right? So I mean, Mendoza he's made for the NFL. That's why I loved him. He's a guy that is a pure surgical pocket passer. That's what he did in Indiana. So he's ready for that. And you saw that last night. I mean, one, he's big as hell. You see the size on the field. His ability to read the field, diagnose it, and throw the ball, I had said when he came out in the draft, it's up there with Joe Burrow, where it's like he sees things, and you're like, damn, how did he see that quickly? Right. And you saw a number of plays last night where he looked, and boom, threw the ball, and you're like, damn, that was perfect. I mean, that's
very poised, yeah.
Then you see the arm strength. You see he's got a quick release. He's a better athlete than everybody gives him credit for. And this is the thing that I find the funniest, right, Stugotz? So it was, we're going to sit him, as long as we can. Kirk Cousins the starter. Then that game got over, and here was the quote. I don't know if it was from this morning or last night, but Klint Kubiak. Well, it's Kirk Cousins' job to lose, right? So it's already changed. He was sitting, right, and now it's his job to lose. So we'll see where this goes, but I think we see him sooner rather than later.
Was he pedaling backwards when he said it, or what was going on there?
You know what? I don't know. I didn't see this. So that's where I got to see the clip. I just read it, right? Because you're right. The way he says it, but the fact that he even said that, to me, shows you that there's a door that it cracked open a little bit, and it's been cracking open, and so we'll see how that goes there.
If you're running that organization, though, you're starting Mendoza, right?
Totally. You got to play. You got to play football, and I know people are going to look at it and go, Tom Brady sat his first year. Okay, yeah, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick, and what I always say about a lot of people, I just go, well, but if Tom Brady played his first year, I bet you he'd have been better in the second year, and then they would have been able to put more on him. They've been more dominant. Same thing I say with Patrick Mahomes. Damn, yeah, he sat the first year. The second year, he threw for 50 touchdowns. But maybe he would have had a little more experience and checked to a few different plays if he played the first year, and then they would have beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. So that's where I look at it. Peyton Manning played his first year. The next year, it was like, oh, shit, he's in the MVP conversation, and the Colts are 13-3. So that's where I would go, as long as they feel the team is ready to at least support him, right? That's one of my things. The team has to be like, can we block? Can we run the ball a little bit? We don't want to just throw our quarterback, our prized possession into that type of formula. But if they show they can do that, then I say go with Mendoza all the way.
I only ask about the next guy because of the head coach and the offensive coordinator, Trey Lance.
Yeah, well, I hear you. I saw Trey Lance. I didn't watch a ton of Trey Lance last night, but I know he played pretty good. And the one thing that jumped out to me about the Chargers, and I think people are sleeping on the Chargers, especially with Mike McDaniel as the OC, is he was in San Francisco when they drafted him, so he knows what Trey Lance is all about. He's going to understand that. Trey Lance has refined the way he throws the ball and become more consistent that way, to where you look at it now. I would have told you 2 years ago, you don't want Trey Lance to be your backup. That's freaking crazy. There's no way. Now I go, hey, Trey Lance is a viable backup. He's perfect. That's perfect where he is there. The one thing with the Chargers, if that O-line stays healthy, they're going to be scary on the offensive side of the ball, because I think they got weapons at receiver. Omarion Hampton's damn good. And that O-line is one of the best in football. And now you couple that with Mike McDaniel and what we even saw last night. I saw a few runs last night, and I was like, oh, damn, they're going to be a machine running the ball. I mean, creativity, block perfectly, and that's where, I'm excited for the Chargers and their opportunities this year.
When you consider the obvious physical talents, and now you have Mike McDaniel as the OC, this is kind of a make-it-or-break-it year here for Justin Herbert. Is that fair?
Well, I don't know if I would say
he's already made it, so that's ridiculous. Right.
Yeah. He's the man already, but I think this is the year where – and I'm a defender of Justin Herbert because, first off, you've heard me. The Chargers charging was a thing just 2 years ago. Hey, it's the end of the game. Somebody's going to screw it up for the Chargers. Like, hey, yeah. So that wasn't Justin Herbert. I mean, come on. So now it's like, I know he didn't win playoff games and all that. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football, and now he's not going to have to do everything. They should be able to run the ball if the O-line stays healthy. And as we know, I mean, every game in the Chargers are big plays. It's like, he's standing in the pocket. Oh, he throws a 40-yard laser as he's getting crushed. Hey, no big deal. Now they're going to give him some easy completions. Like you saw Tua. Oh, here's a 4-yard throw. Oh, the guy runs for 60. Look at that. You're 1 for 1 for 60 yards. He's not going to have the burden of having to make these incredible physical, gifted plays all the time. They're going to make the game easier for him, and that's where I'm excited for Herbert.
Sims, it's interesting because a lot of people are surprised that Kyler Murray is going to be the starting quarterback in Minnesota. And I'm saying to myself, You don't get Kyler Murray to not start Kyler Murray, to not try to see and realize and get the upside of Kyler Murray. Why would it not be Kyler Murray? You weren't surprised by that, were you?
Not at all. I mean, on Monday on my show, on the show with Florio on PFT, before they named him the starter, I went on a huge thing going, what are we wasting our time with? Like, you really think the locker room and the fan base are all going to buy into, hey, J.J. McCarthy's the starter in week 1? I'm not saying I'm giving up on J.J. McCarthy. I think he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't doubt that. But it's just not right now. And to your point, they brought Kyler Murray in there to be that guy. This was the only way. This is the only way. And it's the only way for J.J. McCarthy. It is. You know, he could have been the starter and they could start out 2-0, but if the offense didn't look good, everybody's going to go, wow, we need to bench. We're 2-0, but the quarterback, we got to put in Kyler Murray. It has to go the other way around. He's the new prized possession. Kyler Murray, yes, has never been in a place like this with this type of offensive line, these receivers, and a quarterback guru coaching them. So you look at the potential there. I think that's exciting. But like I said with Anthony Richardson a little bit, just stay the course, J.J. McCarthy. I mean, Kyler Murray's one of the smallest quarterbacks in the game. He's shown he gets hurt too. When you get your chance, you just got to be ready to go. And I think that's the only way he's going to get back into the graces of the locker room and the fan base to believe him. It couldn't go the other way around. So totally agree with you. It had to be Kyler Murray. That's the way it should be. And I feel the same way in Cleveland. It should be Shedeur Sanders. And let's just move on.
Well, that's funny. I was going to ask you that, right? Because if you you read my mind, if you're the Browns, you're not going to be any good with Deshaun Watson. Why not see what you have headed into a great quarterback draft with Shedeur Sanders? Find out if you have a quarterback or not.
I think they know that. I think they're getting there. And, I think Deshaun Watson won OTAs, right? He might have won the first few days of training camp. And, of course, they've paid him all this money, so they're going to try to get something out of him. And I think that you listen to anybody or talk to anybody out in Cleveland, they're going to tell you that really after the first day or two, Shedeur Sanders has whooped Deshaun Watson's ass, really.
Crazy.
Other than maybe one day.
Right.
And most of the big plays in camp are being made by Shedeur. So, yeah, I just go, it's inevitable. I mean, come on, what are we doing? We know Deshaun Watson's not the long-term answer. And we haven't seen Deshaun Watson play good football since Houston. And I don't think he's ever, in my opinion, I don't think he's capable of doing it ever again. It's just one of those things where when you're away from the game that long and your aura and your karma and everything have been messed with because of the things that happened off the field. And I tell people all the time, it's hard to go into a room and be real charismatic when you know everybody in the room's going, hey, there's the guy with the massage parlor. Hey, that's the guy that had all the lawsuits. I mean, that's going to take away some of your charisma and some of who you are. And I feel like that's been lost along with some of the natural feel of the quarterback position on the field.
He's living with demons, man, and everyone knows
it. It's hard. Whether what you think of it or not, he hears those whispers when he's walking in, and he knows everybody's looking at him like that. So it's hard to have a real charismatic aura like that when you've gone through some of that and people are kind of talking behind your back.
So the Bucs and the Jets play tonight. Should Baker Mayfield feel disrespected by 2 years, $100 million? I mean, disrespect me with that anytime, Sims,
it's a tough thing. Well,
I know he wants the years, but 2 years, $100 million, $50 million a year to play quarterback when you were dead in the water a couple of years ago seems like a fair offer,
Yeah, I get it. But now he's going, hey, it's 3 years in a row. I've whooped ass for you guys, and we go to the playoffs, and I took over maybe the hardest spot to play quarterback in football after Tom Brady, and we didn't really miss too much of a beat, and we went to the playoffs. So, I think it is about the years. A lot of people thought, wait, is it about the number? Does it start with the 5? Does it start with the 4? I think he's looking at it going, wait, I'm your franchise quarterback. I've done this. I see all these other franchise quarterbacks getting multiple years and guarantees that go beyond that. I think that's where he feels disrespected. And he probably, even with just $50 million, and I'm with you, but again, there's an old saying, the market is the market, right?
Yes.
And he's going to look at some guys that are getting more than him going, what the hell? I'm better than that guy. How the hell is he going to get more and then have 4 years guaranteed and do that? So I can understand it. Hopefully they can figure it out, but I don't think they're going to figure it out right now because Baker doesn't want to hear that crap.
in a weird, well, he plays better like that, I think. But in a weird way, they didn't slot him in. Like you've been complaining about teams just slotting certain guys in, and they didn't factor any of that in. They just said, "Hey, 2 years, $100 million. You've done a lot for us. We've done a lot for you.
Yeah.
Here's an extra $100 million." You know?
No, it's not the worst. I understand, but I think also I think it's more about he's just looking at other quarterbacks in his position with not the same resume. Going, wait, they've got guarantees and things that go beyond that, and that's where it is. But yeah, like. You know, the one thing you say about the Bucs, to your point, is, they're not going to go, oh, we just got this guy, we're going to make him the highest paid guy, like a stupid bunch of idiots, even though he's not worth that. Like, like we've talked about with the Dolphins and Tua and all that, so they can justify their great move, why they ruined the football team. So, they've been good, and this is right. He doesn't deserve to be at the top of the list, but he deserves to be in the top 10 of the list, right, when you put up a graphic, and that's where, I do feel for Baker.
Just quickly here, the stay the course stuff is such a great. It really is. It's a great point by you, because you told Anthony Richardson, just stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. The guy who's starting in front of him just stayed the course, and he's starting. Football's such a funny game. He's going to get his opportunity again.
Exactly. Stay the course. Going somewhere else and now trying to impress yourself on a new system, and I got to get these coaches in the locker room to believe in me. It's more work than people think. You're not just going to go there. You've built up some goodwill. They did draft you. The GM's there. The head coach, I know he's starting Daniel Jones, but he sees and says nice things about you, and he knows you got talent, and he knows how to use a guy like you. So, that's where. Stay the course. It's a tough freaking job. Playing quarterback in the NFL for everybody other than about 4 people in the history of the sport is like, how do you deal with failure? How do you, I tell kids this all the time. Football is about failure. That's the sport. Sorry. I mean, my dad, 15 years in the NFL, Super Bowl MVP. Damn, he'll probably tell you about more of his failures than his successes. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
That's what you're always battling back from.
Right. They stick with you.
You got to learn to deal with it. That's part of it. No doubt.
Yes. Sims, I'll get you out of here in a second. Jets offense, too many people are telling me too many good things. I don't want to hear about it. Tell me they're going to be lousy, please.
No, I don't think they are. I don't.
Damn.
I think your O-line's got potential. You got a damn good running back. If Adonai Mitchell comes through a receiver, you go, ooh, him with Garrett Wilson. Okay, I like that. The tight end position. I think the offensive scheme fits Geno Smith perfectly. Frank Reich is a guy that, he's going to run the ball a little bit, and when he throws the ball, he's going to throw the ball down the field and be aggressive, and I think that's right up Geno's alley. And anybody you talk to that went to Jets camp, all they just talk about is just like, last year it was Justin Fields, so the ball was like, hey, it's going to hit the ground every other throw. That's just the way it's going to be, and it's going to look ugly. And people that go there now go, holy cow, they're letting it fly, and they're aggressive, and they don't have to worry about managing the quarterback of like, oh, he can't throw that throw very good. He can't throw that route very good. And so, there's some potential there with the Jets for sure.
It's funny, Seattle, after winning a Super Bowl, has become the team that can take a look at Terry and Arnold and get very little, if no blowback whatsoever. What do you make of this? It's a good signing if they do it?
Well, it's rare. It's rare. You're right. I mean, we don't see teams sign a guy who has a pending legal situation very often, right? So there's a lot of things I think that go into this. One, he's a first-round pick. I always say first-round picks get 9 lives. How many times have we seen a first-round pick go, well, this is his 11th team? Every team go, well, we had a first-round grade on him. We'll be able to make him look like the first-rounder. Here we go. So that always happens. The other thing that's important here is Terry Arnold, his thing coming out in the draft was how great of a guy he was.
Right.
Alabama, Nick Saban said it. Everybody said it. His character got him overdrafted. He shouldn't have been a first-round corner. I mean, he got drafted by the Detroit Lions, who played more man-to-man than any team in the NFL, and he couldn't play man-to-man, and that's why they let him go. I mean, he's a walking pass interference penalty. That's what he was. At Alabama, I was always, when he was coming out, I go, this is not one of the top corners in the draft. Nick Saban likes to play man-to-man more than any college coach in the game, and he won't play man-to-man with him and Kool-Aid McKinstry because they can't do it. So that was, to me, was just a huge clue. But, so, he goes to Seattle, and like you said, they got the goodwill because Mike McDonald's done everything right. They won the Super Bowl. I don't think they sign him unless they believe what he and his representation are telling him about the real story. So they obviously believe that and are getting behind that. The other thing that's good here is Seattle doesn't play man-to-man. They rarely do it. And that's perfect for Terrion Arnold. He's a good football player. He's smart. He's got good football IQ. He tackles. He does all that well. You just don't want him on an island man-to-man against Marvin Harrison Jr. or Puka Nacua. They will absolutely tear him up. But so it's a good system fit. And, we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, there's a lot to see where it goes with the legal issues he's got.
What are you hearing on your boy Mahomes? Is he looking like the old Patrick Mahomes? He's going to play week 1, right? I mean.
Yeah, he's playing week 1. Yeah. I mean, I know Mahomes well enough and talk to him every now and then he was telling me he was playing week 1 in the middle of the spring. So that's not even you don't even got to worry about that. Now, it's going to be, is he the Mahomes we know he can be? I doubt that. The movement, the magic plays. This might be the greatest gift of his career, though, because now maybe this will make him, okay, I'm going to have to play a little different way and kind of bring out a different skill set of him, like getting the ball out quick all the time and not always going, ooh, yeah, that guy might have been open, but I'm Mahomes. I'll dance back here and find a bigger play, right? It might do him a lot of good here, but I don't think we're going to see total perfect Patrick Mahomes right away early in the season.
All right, Sims, get out of here. Football has begun. What'd your kid do? 16th birthday, you said?
16th birthday. He said, he really just wanted family over. So we had family over. We swam in the pool. We had pizzas and sandwiches, and I dunked his ass in the pool and drowned him a few times with all my nieces and nephews. That's what I am. I'm that uncle and that dad. I beat the crap out of all the kids, and they love it. They come back for more.
Right. You have to live up to your reputation.
Exactly.
You do.
Exactly.
Right. We're going to Sims's house, and Chris is like one of the kids. So you have to act like one. Right.
Exactly. In fact, it's like I'm not even allowed to leave because my wife will be like, where are you going? Like, she'll be like, no, you're the entertainment. You're the big dumb circus animal.
I didn't get a clown this year.
I was like, wait, I was going to go pick up the food. We know. You be the big dumb circus animal. Get in the pool.
She knows, though. You need to take a drive every now and again, right? I'll get the pizza, honey.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
A little smoky. Anyway, check him out, PFT with Mike Florio, every day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast. I almost said Football Night in America, but I can't say that anymore. I'm upset I can't say it anymore.
They fired me from that.
Tomlin did a good job, Tomlin.
Tomlin's made for it. He's the man. As I've always said, and back from my days when he was the secondary coach in Tampa Bay, when I was there as the quarterback, he's the greatest communicator I've ever seen out of any coach I've ever been around.
He's great.
The energy, the way he can relate to players is second to none.
All right, get out of here, man. We appreciate it. As always, check him out, PFT with Florio, every day on Peacock, the Unbuttoned podcast as well. I hope your buddy Shanahan's doing okay. I know that was a tense. Those were tense moments for you, right? It's one of your best friends.
What? It was crazy. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was worried about my best friend for a while. Yep. I mean, when he FaceTimed me and I got pictures of what he looked like, and then he FaceTimed me later that day, and yeah, we were worried, as our family was, and he was worried for a while. And he's been very upfront with this story. In this concussion, it's not gone yet all the way, but he's made a lot of progress, and I think he's really close to being totally normal, and that's a good thing because we know, the 49ers got a chance to be good and got a big first game over in Australia.
No doubt. All right, buddy. Have a great weekend. Stop complaining about the Yankees. It's why no one likes Yankee fans. You're 8 up in the wild card. I mean, Jesus Christ, get over it.
Well, yeah, but my thought about the Yankees. I mean, we're the Yankees, okay? We're supposed to be at the top of the sport and are they going to win the World Series or not? And now we've become this team where we just want to be relevant. We just want to be in the conversation. That's bullshit. That sucks. Get the hell out of here with all that crap. They need a regime change. All right. That's it.
All right, good. Got a little baseball in. Got fired Brian Cashman for the 15th time. All right, Sims, get out of here. Check him out, PFT with Florio, every day on Peacock and the Unbuttoned podcast as well. We always appreciate it, buddy. Football is back.
Back, baby.